what people don't have, they can't give. Because I think I'm nice. I think I'm a good person. And so in my everyday, whether at the mall, whoever I meet, I'm meant to treat people nicely. And I expect so.
You know what? There's some people are not nice like that. Me, I hate witchcraft behavior.
That. In fact, that's the word where you've sat down and you've orchestrated.
I hate witchcraft
because that's what it is.
I hate witchcraft behavior personally. Conflict is bound to occur.
Absolutely.
But if your parents did not give you the right tools
to use,
you will ask every relationship that comes your way.
Yeah.
That's why we have this trend of this girl, she's behaving like this, I cut her off. This girl, I called you twice, you called me back only once.
Yes,
I caught you. Whitney, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
You know, I was just going to say that when I thought about talking about this, initially I thought, okay, this is something that I might just come on the pod to talk about.
Yeah.
But I just felt like, okay, I think it would be good to have somebody come and have this chat with me. And you were one of the first persons, like the only person that came to mind. And there's a reason for it.
Yes,
but I
think I do know the reason as
there's
well.
a reason for it, but I'll talk about that in a bit. But anyway,
Sure.
Guys, thank you so much. This is Life Lessons with Law. And you know that on this space, we like to have open, honest, authentic, heart-to-heart conversations on everything pertaining to love, life, faith, and womanhood. So if this is your first time watching this podcast or listening to it on any of your podcast platforms, thank you so much for choosing to hang out with me.
Yeah.
And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and like and share. But yeah, as you can see today, I'm not alone. I have a guest. And that's if you're watching. And I have Whitney with me on the couch. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have Whitney here because Whitney is going to join me to talk about something that is very dear to my heart and something that I think that I'm currently in a phase of my life where I'm learning about it. And today we're going to talk about building healthy female friendships. Mm-hmm. Are you excited?
Yes.
And I was saying to Whitney, the reason why I thought about Whitney talking about this, first of all, I like to talk to Whitney because Whitney is I feel like you're such a good conversationalist. Like, I feel like talking to you is always like a breath of fresh air because
thank you.
You know, you can just talk and talk and talk. and I like to have conversations. Like, I like to have deep one-on-one conversations.
Yeah, same here.
So when I meet somebody that's ready to talk, I'm very happy.
Yeah, remember our last conversation ended at 9 p.m.
Yeah. You know, so, but besides that, another reason why I thought that I should bring Whitney to talk about this is because you have a lot of friends. And I'll tell you why I say that. I'll tell you why. Okay. I'll tell you why I say that. I think Whitney has a lot of friends. And the reason why, because most times when I'm talking to Whitney, she'll say, yeah, they're my friend in New Zealand. I say, where? And then I have a friend that's in Sydney. Oh, I have a friend. I'm like, how many friends does she have? I'm like, oh, and then I went to see one of our friends. I'm like, and the reason why that is somewhat surprising to me, you have to understand, is because I'm like the direct opposite. I don't have a lot of friends. Right. So meeting someone that feels like this person has friends everywhere. To me, like, I find it really interesting. Really fascinating. And I love that, you know, I'm not saying, like, I find it really fascinating. And I think it's really beautiful, you know, to be able to keep and nurture friendships, because I feel like every woman needs to have that sisterhood. But talk to me, Whitney, like, why do you think it's important for women, especially, to have that sisterhood?
Okay, for me, or in general, I think it's just that, first of all, the society doesn't, I wouldn't say it support female relationship, but in general, we have to fend for ourselves, because if you go to the men's relationship or their pack, they're always in pack. You know, they're very supportive, but over time, or looking at even through these relationships, you think that I have so many, navigating it is not easy. So when I find that genuine person, like I was listening to, was it Mel Robinson, and she was talking about 3 ingredients or things that you need to foster, like especially adult relationship. She was talking about she said proximity, energy, and I've forgotten the first one, but we need, as women, we need to support each other, because already the society is beating us down, and then we're also beating each other down as well. There is not a whole lot of support from sisterhoods to sister. So when I find, it could be just one character trait that I see in someone. The other flaws could come later, but then we'll work on it as we go. So it starts with that one thing, and it doesn't matter where I meet you. And then another thing that has sort of helped is maybe having kids, because now that I'm a mom, I could easily talk to anyone, and before you know, we're exchanging numbers. So and then also because when we came, my husband and I were just we're like, I wouldn't say social butterflies, but we love to have conversation with people. It doesn't matter where we find ourselves. So you see, whenever I say, I'm going to Tazi to go see a friend, that's because we fostered the relationship. But coming back to the question is, I feel, or I think, that because we connect emotionally as women, that's one thing. We have that intuition, and we're nurturing creature generally. So when you don't surround yourself with other girls, it's not that you're missing out on materialistic thing, but that genuine connection, because we love to connect. That's how we I guess live life, because you need a community, and who else to support you than another fellow woman that knows you know what I mean. So it's really important to have whether one or two, like if you have that girl, you know, that person that you again, people would say, that person that I'm 100% with. Yes. 100% with, but at the same time, you also want that friendship where even if you're not in close proximity, you know that that person is there for you. So that's why I think in all of this relationship I'm having, or whether acquaintances or whatever, I'm still searching or working intentionally to be able to have more women close to me or as friends and do life.
That's amazing. And there's just one thing that you said, one word that you said that I think I find particularly interesting, and that's intentionally.
Yes.
And it just speaks to the fact that there has to be some kind of pursuit.
Yes.
You know, for having these types of friendships, and it's something that you have to intentionally build. And we'll talk about building these types of friendships in a bit. But I just wanted to sit a little bit to talk about the fact that a lot of women are scared. And I'm like, I know that you just said it's important for us to have these emotional connections, because, you know, as a woman, who better understands you than your fellow woman?
Yes.
Right. But one thing that I find with female friendships is that a lot of women are scared to have female friends. And I've heard people say, even on social media, you hear people say things like, me, I would rather, it's women that do women.
Yes.
Me, I would rather have male friends.
Yes.
Because men are very easy, you know, they're very objective. They don't say one thing and mean another thing. I mean, because if you've rolled with women, like, for example, I went to University of Lagos, I was in the hostel. So I have seen women.
Yes.
I've seen women in their
I can imagine.
You know, I've seen women manifest.
Yes.
You know, I've heard stories. I've seen women be women and do women things.
Yes.
So for a lot of people, maybe because of their experiences, or maybe because of the things that they've heard, or maybe because of the things that their parents have told them about female friendships, or even Nollywood.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, Nollywood is like the Nigerian film industry for the people who don't know. So the things that you watch on, in home video.
Yes,
this
now.
person snatch this
Yes,
person husband.
yes.
This person.
And then that will form you. Then form an idea. You just form your personality from those movies.
Yeah.
And then imagine you come out and then have certain relationship with people, and then one person will just do you exactly like how the movie said, and then you retract.
Yeah.
You retract. Now with the fear, you said fear. It is true. I'm gonna quote a friend. I went out last night with my girlfriend, and she we were talking about, like, this fear thing of it's not that you're not trusting people, but I will give you back. I mean, I'll sort of ask you a question now. In regards to fear, must every friendship as a woman that you have, must you even always be vulnerable? Must you always expose yourself? Because I think that is where the fear is coming from. That and it's not about whether I like you or not. Someone like me, I think I've learned the Aussie way of, if I see you, I'll just probably download everything from my kids and everything, and like we part ways. But must you always be vulnerable? Because people think that because you and I are close friends, I shouldn't share everything, all of that. Must we? Is that the only way we can connect?
That's actually valid.
Yeah.
Because I think it could also be, I feel like, because women naturally want to emotionally connect, we tend to make that mistake of thinking, oh,
I should give out something personal.
Like maybe for this person to be close to me, maybe I need to tell them something secret or something deep, so that they can see that I'm also open to the relationship. But I think, to your question, no.
Yes.
I feel like you don't have to be vulnerable to every woman that you come across, or every friend that you come across, and that vulnerability doesn't have to be what connects you both.
Yeah. And then I remember someone saying to me in regards to this part where, if I can't connect to someone like that, or if I can't share my secret with my girlfriend, then that relationship is not deep. I'm like, that's not true. There's a relationship that, for instance, I was saying, what joins me and you is not that we have close friends or mutual friends together. That's not it. One thing that stood out to me about you was your height. I like tall girls.
This height, as I was begging God to take away from me, so but making people to love me.
So it was the height, and I'm like, and then of course your aura. Now when we got talking, we connected in the sense that, for instance, the banter or the conversations that we're having, yes, it was about relationship, and it was quite deep. I got to hear from you, and you got to hear from me, and I also sort of gave you questions that I was struggling with. You mustn't be that close to me in order for me to ask you questions that I'm struggling with in regards to relationship in general. But another thing is, like, when it comes to personal things, let's say, for instance, our husbands, I think all the men are behaving the same way. So there's nothing secretive about me saying, my husband, whenever he sees my sink very clean, he will still drop the dishes when the dishwasher is there. Those are normal conversations that you have. You're not saying your husband is a bad person. You're not portraying the person. But it is what is happening generally in every home. Or it is what is happening out there. Like, for instance, I'll say, did you, have you been watching this Epstein file, blah, blah, blah. It's everyday topics. It doesn't have to, like, if I go out to dinner with you, I'm like, I'm preparing to tell Loretta this very big secret, or this is the time for me to connect with Loretta one-on-one. No, when we get there, I probably might start talking to you about pasta because I like pasta. So I always feel like people are very afraid. Yes, experience will cause you to have those sort of, you protect yourself. But then within you, are you, like, are you holding that person, that real you? Because this was what I was telling to my girlfriend yesterday. I said, I have had not so great relationship, or people have come and gone in my life, and that's okay. At first, I was like, I need to hang on. But now I'm like, no, that's okay. So whenever I have a bad experience with someone, I'm like, okay, I'm going to change. I'm going to do friendship differently. Or the next person I wouldn't invest. The blah, blah, blah. But then when the time comes, she jumps out. So in doing that, I'm trying to kill my inner person, like that real me, because of experiences that I've had with female relationship. I don't think I'll stop having friends. It won't hold me back, because I've enjoyed great relationship. I'm still enjoying great relationship, and I love that. But fear, yes, from past relationship, and as you've said, from movies that we've watched, from our parents saying, you see how me and my sister, what happened between us, learn from this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think friendship in general, especially with women, is beautiful when it blossoms. I've seen it. It's beautiful.
I agree. And I like what you said about, will I then let the fear stop me from being who I am, or stop me from enjoying? Because the truth is that sometimes in our bid to prevent hurt, we lock ourselves up.
Yep.
And in locking ourselves up, we don't only lock out the bad.
Yep.
We also lock
The
out
great,
the good,
yes.
And in terms of vulnerability, I do think that we need people in our lives that we can be who
we are.
We truly
100%.
are. That
I agree.
we can, like my close friend, one of the closest people to me, she has seen me at my best, at my worst, at my highest, at my lowest, and vice versa, right? And I really treasure that, because not everybody gets to see that part of me, right? But I think whilst it's important to have someone that sees all sides of us, like even besides our spouse, right? I think that also, to your point, it doesn't have to be everybody.
No.
And I like what you said about when we meet people, there are certain things that we admire about them that makes us want to connect with them. So understanding, I think where we tend to mix things up is wanting to be vulnerable with everybody.
Yes.
That is where we kind of mix things up, but you have to understand that different relationships require different things from you. And require, I always say different relationships require different parts
of you. Yeah.
Some relationships do not have to see certain parts of you, and some relationships, can see some parts of you. So I think being able to make that distinction is where we then begin to understand it, and it also helps us manage expectations of those different relationships, and kind of, I think, minimizes that fear. Because at the end of the day, people are just afraid of getting hurt. But then again, looking at the downside of letting fear stop you is that, as you said, it robs you of that opportunity to meet beautiful and amazing friendships with women that can alter, change your life.
Absolutely.
Now, why I talk about this is I have a friend, like an older friend. She didn't start out as my friend. She started out as my manager.
Right. From work?
Yes, from work, like many years ago.
Wow.
Like when I first started in the corporate world, she was my manager. And we created this beautiful, relationship as colleagues, work colleagues. But as time went on, she became this elder sister that I never had.
Right.
And now, she's one of the closest people to me. And I was just telling my sister the other day that I'm so glad that I met this woman. This woman has been nothing but a blessing to my life. So I think, sometimes, but if I had let that fear of, women, they can be,
Ah,
they can
yeah.
be, they can be this, they can be that.
Yes.
Their body is always this, they could have
True.
lost out on
Very, very true.
such a beautiful
Very
relationship
true.
that has actually changed my life, because that woman changed my life,
It's good.
right? So
It's good to
yeah,
have that.
yeah. So I think it's being able to, and I think another thing leading from this fear question is talking about, you mentioned something about your parents telling you, remember what happened
Yeah,
in
that
1990.
experience. Yes.
How do you think that how do you think upbringing shapes people's perspective of female friendships?
Um, it affects every one of us, and for me, it has. I've watched my mom. I've watched my mom with friends. But there was a scenario that happened with my mom and her very good friend in Lagos. And I was thinking, oh, my mom will, get me closer and tell me, me and my friends were not in a great place. So I don't want you going over to her house, or I don't want you doing things for her whenever she call you, blah, blah, blah. No, my mom said, just because I'm having that problem with my girlfriend does not mean that then you take it, because then I was like 16, 17. So I understand that if you're not friends with my mom, or if
I'm
you
not
do
your
something,
friend.
me too, I'm not. Because
not
I
your
support my
friend.
mom. But she said, just because that is happening, that's between us. That shouldn't change how you feel about her, because this is someone that I would call her my second mom. So how do you, in my brain, I'm like, how do I separate myself from this person? Because this is my second mom. So when she told me that, I said, okay. But then in my mind, I'm like, please let these people not, let this thing not end it, because they're adults. And again, it's very hard to find that one friend or those friendships that will sustain you throughout. I'm talking about in your 50s, right? So I'm like, is this how everything is now going to crash? This is how it's going to end.
And they've
And
been
this is
friends for like years and years.
yes, I've known them since six years old.
Oh my God.
So that was my fear. I'm like, is this how everything will now? But no, it didn't. It worked out later. But when she told me, she said, even if I'm having a confrontation or don't support me, because I have my own biasness as to why I'm acting the way I'm acting. So that changed how I feel. To tomorrow, I'm always like, if you're fighting with somebody, I'm not a middle person. You see that thing where people say, I want to be in the middle because I don't want to be on both sides. No, it's not that you're being a middle person, right? But you point out to who is wrong. If that relationship is worth it, and you know that it's yours, you point it out to who is wrong. If both of them decide that when they come back together and they'll throw you out, you will know that you've done your own thing. But again, expectations. So that shaped me as well. And then another experience was this girl. I remember her name, my very good friend Timbo. It was across, we were just facing each other's house. Of course, Timbo was very, wealthy. Her family was doing well. But this girl singled me out in the classroom, and we became very great friends. Now, there was a day I went to Timbo's house, and I think this was now when we're teenagers. And the mom was sort of telling me, like, she's not around. I said, oh, but I can hear her. And she was like, no, she's not around today. And I turned around, and that was
That must have been very painful.
a jab to my heart. Because I'm like, if things have changed between me and Timber, she will probably tell me, because she used to tell me everything. But she did tell me that, my mom doesn't really
Well, but what was
like
the
you.
reason
I
why?
have no idea.
Was it because of the disparity in class?
I think so. I think so. And I never wanted that to be the thing that I would admit to. But I knew. Because my mom also, whenever she sees Timber's mom, there's that respect. You know what I mean? And so at a point, my mom was trying to tell me that these people are wanting, how do I explain it? It's not to bebe, but she's seeing us as
like inferior.
Yes. So Timbo couldn't bring herself to tell me about it, and the mom had to interject that way. That was very painful. And then before I knew it, she moved to the UK. Aww. And that was the end of it. Aww. But till today, I didn't hold her at heart because I knew that it's not of her doing. Her parent or her mom stepped in to do that, to cut the relationship, because again, she doesn't know the future as well. But I don't know whether she was protecting. That's not protecting your child,
I think,
because you don't know what that relationship would have festered. You don't know how that would have turned out. And yeah, so I lost that person. In fact, sometimes I would go on Facebook, I'll type her full name out, I would not find her. But so parents, it affects you. And this there's this scenario where, like, your parent has hurt you so much, and then you go into the room, you pack your bag, or you want to bang the door, but you can't bang the door because you think they know best. Yeah. But sometimes they don't. And you end up in a situation whereby, yes, that fear will come on, or you will seek validation from your parents with your friends. That's why you bring them home, because you want your mom and dad to it's this person. And then if your mom says, yeah, that girl's very good, then you will continue with it. But it has sort of affected us how we do friendship with girls as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think for me, it was the opposite. For me, my mom didn't have friends. So I grew up. My mom,
was she closer to her siblings?
Yeah.
Was it? Okay.
She had,
so those were her friends.
She had her younger sister, God rest her soul. That was her best friend. Like she and her younger sister, they were like twins. They grew up together. So that was like the closest person to her before she died, sadly. But other than that, I didn't see my mom or my dad with friends.
Interesting.
They would always say things like, friends are not good.
Did you ever ask them why? Because there must have been something
I don't know.
while growing up.
No, because I think at some point I remember asking my mom, so who is your best friend? She'll say it's your father. And that's my father, who is your best friend? You say it's your
your mother.
So I grew up with the belief that, your siblings are okay for you. Why are you looking around
outside?
When you have, people. So I grew up with that mindset, which is why as I got older, I didn't think I needed to have, because I felt like I have enough. It's just now that I'm beginning to learn that, okay, you need, people,
you need
besides your family. Yeah. And I also think, and I think for a lot of people, much of as other parts of our lives, much of what we believe and much of how we live our lives is based on how we were raised.
100%.
Based on how our parents raised us.
Yes.
You said something about, when you were talking about the story of your friend, and you were saying that, even the way that her mother approached severing that relationship, it probably also taught her something about relationships, And I also think that what also impacts female friendships and the way that we do female friendships is how parents taught their children conflict resolution.
Yes. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, because a lot of, and you see, all of these things play a role, because if you did not learn healthy conflict resolution from your parents, as you begin to socialize with people, you begin to interact with other women in your life, conflict is bound to occur.
Absolutely.
But if your parents did not give you the right tools
to use,
you will axe every relationship that comes your way, because you did not learn it.
Yeah.
Right. So for a lot of women, that's why we have this trend of this girl, she's behaving like this, I cut her off. This girl, I called you twice, you called me back only once.
Yes,
I cut you. I block.
Yes, block. That's my sister and I use that word a lot.
I block you.
Yes.
I was talking to you. I mean, I was sounding excited.
And you
Petty
were
things.
not. Yes.
I was sounding excited. You were sounding down. Block.
Your energy.
Your energy is no. I don't like your aura.
I swear, I don't know what is happening to us in this 2000, this like, 2000 era.
It's because a lot of us did not learn healthy conflict resolution.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of us grew up, and there's also another side, even with the upbringing side of things, depending on the environment you were raised in.
Yeah.
For example, if you were raised in a highly competitive environment, maybe you were raised in a polygamous home, there's a very chance that you will approach friendships from a very competitive position.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
If you had a mother or a father who was always trying to outdo other people or their friends, you will grow up thinking that's
the right way.
It should be. Yeah. And that is how you will approach friendships.
Yeah.
And then when you approach friendships that way, you either surround yourself with people who are always competing with you, or the people who respect themselves will just
step back away. Yeah.
And you're alone.
Yeah.
So I think that in building healthy relationships, I think that being able to understand how your upbringing affects how you do life,
yes, with women,
with people,
especially,
it's really critical. But I feel like many people do not take the time to have that self-reflection. You know, even though it's like it plays a critical role.
Yes.
Talk to me about the cancel culture, because he said something like, I don't know what's wrong with us in these 2000s.
Yes.
But talk to me about this era of you do me anyhow, I cut you off.
Yeah.
Talk to me, and like I want us to have like a balanced perspective to things. When is it okay to cut people off, and when is it okay to show grace? It's very tricky.
Ooh, okay. For me, grace, I put it in number, and that's 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Why?
Yeah. Because, okay, I'm gonna go a little bit biblical, not biblical, but as a believer or as a Christian, grace has been extended to me every day. Every day. It comes from my husband. It comes from people that I interact with, whether at work, on a phone call, all of that. So, and then behind the grace is, it's not that I give an excuse. I'm like, this is not your usual you, but it could be you that I'm just seeing in a different light because of a situation. So I'm like, okay, I don't know where this is coming from. It might be that you're having a bad day. Something else might be happening somewhere. It could be another relationship. But while you're taking it out on me, I would definitely, like, you know, it's not stepping away, but I'll see it, and I'm like, I'm here. I'm still here. Just like my kids. I'm like, I'm still here, but I extend up to 3 times, because I don't believe that just because you've offended me on the first time. Like, what about all the good times we've had? Why should this one memory erase everything else? So I'm like, and it especially even if it's intentional that you're hurting me, I still want to understand. Some people will say, someone is hurting you and you're still there. I still want to understand, because I feel like we've both put time into this relationship, and whether it be it a year, 6 months, 10 years, and then all of a sudden is one thing, even if I'm the one who has offended, at least let me know. And then if I then come back again and I did it, but then I feel like I gave an explanation, or you gave an explanation, and even if it doesn't, I'll be like, please, next time don't do it again. it's on the third time that I'll be like, you're really just being very intentional. Like, I'm here, I'm listening now. Yeah, some situation could be worse than others. You know what I mean? Where you're like, okay, no, this person is outrightly coming out for me. And in saying that, you don't do things like keep silent. That is such, oh, that thing vexes me. If I've offended you, you let me know. Now, it could take you 2-3 months. I don't think you should extend it more than that. Don't give me silent treatment in order for me to then figure out
what
that I've hurt you.
Yeah.
Let me know. And then I will either admit it or even give you the reason why maybe I did what I did. But there's no way that I feel... I've never met someone that has intentionally sat down and put a strategy together to hurt Whitney. I'm not sure, you might be a psychopath if you're doing that. But the culture now is where, I don't know, forgive me people, but I feel like we're overly sensitive. It's not like it. If you put your expectations on the floor like this, you will never be hurt.
Yeah.
It's not that, yes, because I've known you for 10 years and I expect that you would know me by now. No, even me too. On every day, I'm like, which Whitney is showing up?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes, there is great expectation to relationship that you've come a long way. I understand that, but when you start to say, oh, I expect this from you, you can express disappointment and say, oh, I'm disappointed in the way, I'm disappointed and I just wanted you to let you know. But things like, where I called you how many times. Someone like me, I love to call people rather than message. So if you message me, sorry, it takes me a while to reply. Instead, I want to talk. yeah, I will pick up my call and I'll call. But the thing of like, you've offended me, you knew that was important to me, and now this relationship has dissolved, and I'm like, I don't know. But I'm finding out that people right now, it's an era of setting boundaries.
I think, to be honest, what you said about if I have offended you, let's have a conversation. Thinking about it, I think it takes it takes a level of maturity to be able to have a conversation with somebody when the person has offended you.
Yes, I agree.
I think that because, again, tying back to the point about we tend to handle a lot of us did not learn healthy conflict resolution, right? And for so many people, that silent treatment or just expecting you to know that this thing, for so many people, that is the tool, or that is what they have known
to use
all their lives, being passive aggressive, things like that, or being sarcastic or throwing shade or throwing jabs in the expectation that
you'll pick
it up, right? I know that for me, I had to learn that when you're upset about something, you have to say it.
Yeah.
You have to speak up.
Yeah.
But it wasn't something that
you knew.
That I knew. It wasn't something that, it wasn't in the way that I was raised. It's something that I had to start learning as an adult.
Right.
Right. So a lot of times I'm the kind of person that I always feel like, oh, because I'm like this, people should treat me like that.
Yes.
But I have quickly I've learned.
Been addressed.
I have learned. That's
yes.
Maybe get
expectations. Bring it out.
The fact that you are doing like this for people
does not mean
that they would reciprocate.
Yes.
You have to teach people how to to treat you. You have to teach people how to respect you. You have to teach people that this thing, I won't take it from you.
Girlfriend, another thing is what people don't have, they can't give. So in saying that, and that this has happened to me where, because I think I'm nice, I think I'm a good person. And so in my everyday, whether at the mall, whoever I meet, I'm meant to treat people nicely. Right? And I expect so.
You know what? There's some people are not nice like that.
Oh
Some
God.
people are not like that.
And I said, no. Some of them just don't have it to give.
They don't have it in them.
They don't have it. And I would say it's a 50-50 here. It's probably also not their fault, as you've said. The background has played a part where they weren't taught. Another thing is reflection. When you sit down, whether relationship or situation, every day, do you sit down and wonder why?
Some people don't reflect. God. No, seriously.
That thing keeps me grounded.
Yeah, but some people don't reflect, Whitney. And I feel like that is another thing that ails our society, and especially in this day and age, particularly with women. A lot of people don't reflect. A lot of people don't want to take accountability. A lot of people don't want to hear the truth. A lot of people don't want to hear that this your behavior is bad. You have a bad character. A lot of people don't want to hear that. A lot of people don't want to hear the truth. They would rather live in an echo chamber.
Yeah.
You know, people don't want to change. You know, especially as adults, where you have your character is on lockdown.
Yes, now.
It will take the grace of God and Jesus Christ
to undo.
Even Jesus is trying his best. You said no.
Every day.
You said no. I don't want to change. But I feel like I feel at the end of the day, to the point that you made, you can't give what you don't have.
Yeah.
But I think that in building healthy relationships, as much as it's important for us to give grace, it's important for us, of course. I agree that we have become a lot more sensitive.
Yeah.
I agree that we have set up walls, to put up too many walls.
Yes.
In the name of boundaries.
Yes.
Because we don't want to expand our capacity to show grace.
No.
Because it actually takes strength to show grace.
Yeah.
It takes a level of you dying to yourself to show grace.
Yes.
And doing that, sometimes you have to look stupid.
Oh yeah.
You know, and a lot of people don't want to seem stupid.
Oh yeah.
Why should I keep talking to someone that's treated me like this? Why should I still be kind to you? You're not deserving.
Oh, I know people have looked at me as dumb.
Yeah.
But I'm dumb in that situation, because I'm like, it's not every time that I want to appear I know it all. It's not every time I want to appear mature, because maybe it might be that way you meet me there, or I'm able to then help you from that place of acting like that. And the only period at which I will get myself up is when you're like, okay, I'm going to keep her in that space. Like, that's how she is or whatever. And I'm like, or when you're trying to be smart. There are some people that is smart. They're just being very
strategic. Strategic.
That is when. Yes, that's when. And then I will always use my husband. I'll be like, babe, this situation, I'm about to reply. What should I say? Because when I am done, when I'm in that phase of the third time and I now want to respond, like my mind just wants to go really blunt. Really blunt. Not in an angry way at all, but just to let you know, like, this is it. Like, you know, there's been this time. I'm going to ask you a question. Do you, what is it to you? Do you prefer honesty or transparency?
Are they not the same?
Transparency is very detailed. Honesty is you're just being like truthful. Or, okay, let's give a situation where you've introduced me to a friend, and we vibed, right? Now after me,
with the friend.
Yes, like you introduced me to. No, wait. All three of us were together. We vibed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then either myself or your friend then steps out and like, hey Whitney, we exchanged numbers. You were there. All of that stuff. Now you're like, hey Whitney, I like the fact that, you know, you were talking about where you get your clothes and blah 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 blah.
Wait,
Can I take you?
Wait, you exchange number with friends. I introduce you.
Yes, yes.
Guys, put it in the comments if that is a problem. This is the comments if this is a problem. How can you be switching?
I am switching sides, but I'm not switching sides.
Put it in the comments.
What do you think?
Vibing with my friend that is not your friend that you met through me.
But wait, so you are gatekeeping now. You're not gatekeeping people. Anyway, so now and then so that she then reaches out and we talk, and I was like, okay, and then I'm like, my alarm bells are going. I said, I better call my girlfriend and tell her. Then I call you and I tell you, I'm like, hey, so and so reached out to me, and she was like this, and I just wanted to let you know that we're probably going to be going to DFO. That is transparency, because I've given you every detail.
Okay.
Not that you go and see me at DFO, you'll be like,
You are
in fact, but and then you don't even make it. You're like, and then
that was being
that's an experience. That's an experience that will probably teach you that, okay, I can't trust Whitney around my friends. Or then you go and caution the other person, and then that will also probably lead to you saying, okay, if I'm gonna have my girlfriends together, I don't want all of them in one spot. That's for me. In fact, I want, if all my friends from Tassie, from Perth, from Brisbane, if I'm hosting a party, everybody
all the states and territories with diaspora, including New Zealand. Okay.
I want everyone together because I just want to share myself with everyone. So I don't know how to say, I'm doing with you. And some people, it works out for them that way. But then when you start having too many friends, you're like, hey, you probably have like a whole chat in your room of, this is how this person is. This is how this person is. This is how this person is.
Honestly, but yeah. Well, true that. In talking about that, let's talk about the village. I heard someone say something like, a lot of us want a village, but nobody wants to be a villager. And we've talked about the fact that, people are scared. We've talked about the fact that people don't...
Their upbringing as well.
Their upbringing. People don't know how to manage conflicts. People don't reflect. They don't think about, and people don't want to change. But let's talk about the importance of a village, but not being able to be a villager. And I know that this, for me, is something that I am still learning, because I've never really been a part of a village. Because I grew up in a somewhat individualistic kind of environment where it's just me, my sisters, my brothers, my mom and her sisters, and her sister, and my uncle and my grandma. So just that me and my family, kind of a situation. Not really knowing what you do in a village. But growing up and then beginning to understand the importance of community. Because I feel like a lot of us, especially in this day and age, we do not really understand the importance. We've become so individualistic. And sometimes we think that, because you have 10 million followers on Instagram or TikTok, you feel like you have a community. But
no, you don't. You're very alone.
Right? But we have become so swallowed up by those virtual villages that we do not understand the importance of a village. And even when for some of us we do recognize the importance of a village, we do not know how to be a villager. So talk to me about the importance of a village and what it means to be a villager.
I wouldn't say okay. So I grew up in a very big family. Really, really big, that, every, twice a year, every child is looking forward to seeing their cousins, and the cousins, and we're bringing friends as well. So it's just not only your family, but you're inviting friends who are traveling to come stay over at your family gatherings. And I've seen, especially among my aunties, yes, later down the line, there were issues and everybody there took their child, and now we don't know where our cousins are. But that played a part that I really miss it. And it's probably is the one thing that is still in me, which is why I have friends from North America to South, is that a community will show up. I've learned to see and watch people show up.
And when you say show up, what do you mean by show? What does show up mean?
Show up means, for me personally, it's the check-ins. It's, I just want to see you today, or I thought about you today, or what are you up to, or come out, let me treat you, or it's is there a prayer need, like it's that random thought from someone else saying, I'm checking in with Whitney today. Is that encouragement, like where Whitney has got this skill, but does she know about this beautiful thing that she's got? I'm gonna get her up. I'm going to, even if she does not like it, I will force myself that she sees her potential, she sees this great thing that she has is showing up. It could be like someone like me. I show up to my community in the sense that if I step into your house, excuse me, and you're comfortable with me, excuse me, I'm gonna clean up. Because you may have been tired or you're just out of it. If I'm in your space and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get up, do it. Or you call me last minute, girlfriend, please help, blah blah blah. In fact, sometimes I've even sent my husband on my own friend's errands. I have. I'm like, my friend is moving, you and the truck, go. And it's like, okay, he's going, or they've invited us for a birthday party, take the kids, even though I can't make it, maybe I'm braiding or something like that. It is, and it's not that you're doing it so that someone else would do it back. No, you're doing it because it could be you. It could be you. So you need, plug yourself in. You have to plug yourself in. Sometimes there are places where the circle or the community will be very neatly, it's so tight. It's so tight, and you want to get in there, and it may look like you're desperate, but maybe that's actually what they need in that community, because they're so into themselves, they don't realize that, someone brings in this energy, or someone has this perspective to friendship, and as long as you're coming in there, you're not choosing who I like most more than the other person. That's the other thing as well, where I'm careful to go into places where they've already, it's like cliques, right? I'm not going in there to start saying, you come to my side, you come to my side. But in saying that, I really appreciate community, because I've seen it work for me. I've seen it work for other people. I've watched it in my family, or even going to where there were times where I've gone to stay with uncles or people that are not even related to me, right? And the way they've shown their commitment, or say, hi, your mom, and it's a one-time experience I had with my mom. Your mom was like this, I will never forget. And they've extended the home, like they've welcomed me. I'm talking about staying with people that I don't, for a year, and they've treated me like their child. Because why? My mom has unknowingly impacted people's life within the community that she wasn't even aware of. So coming back to, let's say, in the West right now, where we're all here, Africans or not, or where you found yourself in a here out in the West, yes. So for me personally, I feel like I love my African community, but I also want to mix my African community with other people as well. It
Yeah,
could
which
be
is
Asians, whatever.
valid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bring
totally
them in,
valid.
because they bring on something as well. They're also wanting to understand how other people do life as well. So don't just limit yourself to, I just want to stay with this particular community, because, you know, we know ourselves, we really understand ourselves.
To be honest, I think that regardless of the race of the community, regardless of the different ethnicities of the of the village,
Yes.
like the principles of having a village or being a villager are basically the same. It's still the same thing as you said.
Yes.
Showing up. So whether the person is African or not African,
Yeah.
or you know, being able to show up
Yes.
for the people
Yeah.
in your community, being able to show up, it is essential. So yeah, I totally agree with the point of
What about now? Let me ask you now. Yes, let me put the question back on you now. Villager. So I've explained the community or a village. What do you understand by the villager?
I think, to be honest, I don't even know if I have enough expertise to talk about being a villager, because I don't think that I have been a villager for, I don't think I've really been a villager.
Yeah, to fester the village.
Yeah, because I don't think I've actually.
But you're getting there though.
I think
You're
I'm
getting
learning.
there, yeah.
I think I'm learning. I think the first thing that, in my own reflections, I think that it's one thing that is critical is you have to be willing to be inconvenienced.
Very much so.
And it's understanding that it won't always be convenient.
No.
Understanding that, also to the point that you raised, that sometimes you will need to give without really expecting anything in return.
Yes.
For me, I think that there has to be a genuineness, and a genuine kindness and just that readiness to just be there.
Yes.
For people.
Yes.
So I think, yeah. So for me, I feel like being a villager is that when you're down, I'm there to raise you up. When you need a shoulder to lean on,
yes,
I'm there.
Yeah.
When you celebrate, I celebrate.
Yes.
So I think for me, that's what I'm learning. In this phase of my life where I'm slowly learning.
And you don't always get it right. But being a villager is that you must admit to yourself that it will be overwhelming as well. Now, when that is happening, do you then communicate to your village that you also need your cup filled?
You also need them to be.
Yeah.
I like what you said about needing your own cup filled, because at the end of the day, you can only give what you have.
Yeah.
And you cannot pour from an
empty cup.
I think sometimes there's always that tendency to pander to two extremes. So you either go to the extreme of overgiving and not receiving, or you go to the extreme of not giving at all. And when you don't give, you become stinky water. It's just like it's just like stagnant.
It's stagnant,
water,
yes. It doesn't move, nothing. Yeah.
Because you are just there. You're not pouring out.
Yeah.
Right. But when you are always pouring out and you're not getting back in, you get spent.
Yes.
And you have nothing to give, and that's where people become burnt out, or they become very resentful.
Yes.
Because they feel like, oh, but I've been
done.
doing,
Yes.
So I think that there needs to be a culture of reciprocity. I think that people should understand that some people are better givers than others.
Yes.
And giving is not just in terms of financial gifts.
Being
people
there.
giving your time, even giving that. There are people that can sit and listen to you for 3 hours.
Yes.
And just listen to all your talk. Listen to it. That is something that they cannot get back. That is their time.
Yes, it's gone.
A lot of people cannot do it.
Gave that
so there are
to you,
people that the moment you start to, and the other day I was feeling so, they're like, oh, sorry, and then they said, it is where, and they walk away because they don't have the energy to listen.
Yeah.
So somebody giving you their attention, it's such a gift, right? But I've learned that if you're always giving and you're not receiving, it is a recipe for disaster, right? So being able to also lean on people to be able, and being able to ask for help.
Yes.
It's one thing that I've had to learn, because see, when you're the first child, you are so hyper independent that you feel like, oh, I don't need anybody, I can do bad all by myself. But I'm slowly learning that it's okay to ask for help. it's okay to say, I beg you get food for house.
Yes.
I can't cook this.
Yes. Yes.
You know, it's okay to reach out to people that you know deeply care about you, and to be able to say, I'm just not, today is just not a good day. Or I'm upset, or I'm not happy,
Yes.
or I'm having a down day.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I think that is important. I also think that one key part of being a villager is also being able to learn conflict resolution.
Yes.
I think conflict resolution is something that everybody
Is applied in every
conflict
aspect of
resolution,
your life.
emotional intelligence,
Yes.
emotional regulation,
Yes.
being able to deal with big emotions.
Yes.
You know, I think because this is something that is bound to happen in a village. That, you know, feathers are bound to be
Oh,
ruffled.
definitely.
You know, people are bound to butt heads. People
Yes.
are bound to disagree.
Yes.
And I feel like this is where therapy and being self-reflective would really go a long way in helping, because I feel like if a lot of people did more self-reflection, they would be able to self-regulate better.
Very much so.
And will be able to manage conflict,
Yes.
you know, in a much more mature way that keeps the village healthy.
We talked about, I think you asked me now about at what point can you then do the block?
Yes.
We didn't address that.
And I was actually coming to that.
Okay.
Because that's like, because as we wrap up, if not, we'll be
We'll
be talk
and I
tomorrow.
need to go cuckoo.
Yeah, I know. So that's why I'm like, I'm in mind like, hey, we have to keep this moving. But that's actually tied to the last question that I want to ask you.
Okay.
Talking about now, what we've talked about, building healthy relationships with women. We've talked about the things that could cripple you. We've talked about the village and being a part of, you know, a village, and the need for self-reflection and accountability.
Yep.
Now, I want to talk about the unhealthy part of it, because let's be frank, some women, they are not good. Some people are actually worth cutting off.
Yes.
And worth blocking.
Yes.
So what would you say are those things that you would see, or you would notice, those signs that you say, this one has to go?
Okay. If you're that person that comes into a community and then you start to have cliques, or you start to divide, like, you know, bring discord among people, I would run away from you if I get an inkling.
Well, why is that?
Because, as I said already, the society puts it in a way that, you know, we're in a competition with each other. That's just the honest truth with women.
Yeah.
Hi.
True.
So we already have that going on. Then you've got our own personal values that are like, you know, I'm going to only roll with these certain people that are in my class or whatever. And then the others, no, they're behind me. So you've got all of that going on in a woman's head. And then there's some people that I don't know whether it's just the spirit in them just to destroy things. It's like, I never had something good. Why should someone else have it? Sometimes I'm wondering, like, are you aware that you have that character trait? Are you aware that, you know, do you sit down and say, why is it that every relationship that I have, I'm always letting letting them go when they don't meet my need, like, you know, like this, like, and as you said, yes, some people, reflection is not, it's not something that they know. And again, it needs to be taught. It needs to be talked about in these spaces as women, in those some people would say uncomfortable conversations. They're hard to have, but in a group setting, throw it out there. What do you feel? What do you think? Now, don't go about because that person has aired their opinion. You will now pick from their opinion and say, that person's like this.
Yeah.
That person's like this. No.
Yeah.
You know, if you're one that comes around and you start to have cliques within cliques, I avoid such people.
Because it's kind of like they're trying to divide.
Yes.
Bring division.
Another thing that if you're just like, you know, This one is very hard though. It's very hard because for me, again, you have to do me up to 3 times. And I've had a situation where I was the person on the receiving end of being cut off. And then when I sat down, I was like, did I not listen? Did I not pay attention? And at one point, to be honest, God, I in my head told me I was the problem. So I'm always like coming to check in with my husband. Did I handle that well? Did I say the right words? And again, my husband had to teach me diplomacy because I used to be raw. So if you know that there is it's things that are done intentionally to you, or there is not sort of an attack on your character, because to be honest, I don't have to explain. I don't want anyone to understand me again. So whichever version of Whitney that you've heard, believe so, because on a normal day maybe I'm not like that, but something has made me like that. So believe it when you hear things about Whitney. So you really must. It's not push my button. People, they say push my button, but you really have to just come on intentional to me and say you really want. Very obvious. Very obvious. The second time I'll be like, did you mean? Was this the sort of thing you wanted to happen? Like, I'll ask you that kind of question. I say, were you coming off this way so that I could get a message? Were you coming off this way so that I can know that, something has happened? Was this your intention? I'll ask you, but if you say, no, that's fine, then yeah. But the third time I'll be like, okay, there is a trend. That's when I'll address it. But I just wouldn't cut someone off immediately just because they've hurt me. But in saying that, I go about friendships or life like an excited child.
Yeah, I feel like, I sense that too.
So that way,
I sense that you have this childlike, childlike approach to friendships, which is good. It's great. I think for me, I hate witchcraft behavior.
In fact, that's the word where you've sat down and you've orchestrated. I
hate witchcraft
because that's what it is.
I hate witchcraft behavior personally. And by witchcraft behavior,
please explain the witchcraft, because I've answered too quickly. So what is the witchcraft behavior?
No, like just similar to what you said. Like somebody has sat down to strategically design how they're going to destroy a person or pen their relationship. I don't like it. Or someone that tries to maybe cause division, maybe between you and your spouse or something. I don't like sneaky, just sneaky behavior.
Yes.
I don't like it. For me, I can't, because I'm a very, what's the word now? I'm quite observant. And
yes,
I sit, I watch.
Yes.
So I don't like when somebody is scheming. How can you just stay and you'll be scheming of all the things to do with your life and your time? You're scheming on how to hurt somebody. I don't like it. So for me, that's one. Another thing, I don't like competition.
Yes.
I cannot, personally, I can't stay in an environment where we are competing. Today you buy this bag, tomorrow you want to buy this person buy this bag. I can't do it. To me, I can't. For me, I feel like the way I do things and the way I do relationships is that we're all growing.
Yes.
We're all growing. I want you to do great, and as much as possible, I try as much as possible to support you in that, right?
Yes.
And I learned that from that woman that was telling you that she became my friend. She's like, because she became like such a huge support system to me and kind of like fanned the embers of my dreams and my goals, supported me. She taught me so many things that I know now, even about working in the corporate world.
Yeah.
Just imagine that woman was competing with me like, oh, these young girls, and I would have not, she probably like the opportunity that she had to mentor me, would not have been there. But now I owe a lot of my success to her. I can never forget her in my life.
So beautiful.
In my end, Awele, if you're watching this, I love you from the bottom of my heart. Right. So like I cannot forget that woman in my I'm getting teary. I can't forget her. I love her so much.
It's
Right.
wonderful.
So because of that, it taught me that you can be a blessing to somebody's life. So I can't like competitive behavior, rivalry,
Comparison. I was gonna say competition and comparison are
unhealthy
now a
comparison.
norm that we're
Unhealthy,
seeing.
because it's like the reason why I say unhealthy comparison is because I just like to make it clear that
There is a
way.
positive. Yes, yes.
It's a good way.
Yes,
I can
yes.
admire, for example,
Yes.
I told you, like, I like that you have friends. I find it admirable. I wish I could, but I don't have energy. You know, I don't, even the few I have, because I'm this kind of person that I like to have time for my, like the way we're having this conversation.
Yes.
This is how I like to do.
Yes.
If I have 50 of them,
You can't.
How am I gonna
You
do it?
divide it. Yes.
my energy, I'll just be so down.
You're not a cell that you can divide yourself in every.
Like, but the few that I have, I nurture. I'm, you know, I'm loyal. I'm
Yes.
there.
Yes.
You know, so that is how. But I admire that you do that. I admire your heart. I love your. I feel like you have this childlike approach to life that's just wonderful. And butterfly and flower. And I love it. You know, you just have this aura about you, and I love it. It's a beautiful thing. You know, and I've told you, even the way like you mother your boys, you know, I admire those things. And so for me, you know, there's a difference between admiration and competition.
Yes, yes.
There's a difference between getting inspiration from how somebody
Yes,
lives their
yes.
lives. Like I've told you, like you're very good with like home things, like decors, knowing
Decor,
where to buy things
Yes.
in this Australia. Really?
I'm the one.
So for me, it's something that I'm like, oh, I really like this about you, because those things are not things that I know. Do you understand? I don't. So because of that, I know that there are so many things that you can pick from people, right? You can admire people,
Yeah.
learn from them, see
Yeah.
them as an inspiration,
Yeah.
without trying to one up them.
Yes. Yes.
So for me, that there's a one-upping behavior that I hate. For example, it's like, oh, Whitney, you saw, oh, I love this dress. Tomorrow,
you will not go and buy it.
I'll go and buy the one. This one was white.
Yes.
I'll go and buy red.
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm saying? You bought a nice Chanel bag, and I don't even know them. But let's say you bought a very nice designer bag.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this your bag. It's nice, but it doesn't
Yes.
look original.
Oh, girl.
Do you understand? That's witchcraft.
Yes.
You can't just like, you are looking for ways that you can, you are always looking for a way that you are trying to be superior to the other person, looking for something the person doesn't have that you think you have that makes you better.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
So for me, like things like that, it's for me, it's just, I can't do it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like people who are disrespectful. It's also, when you said disrespect, I knew that when you said respect,
Respect, yes.
I knew that you get me.
Yeah.
You understand? I don't like disrespect. And for me, it's not just you being disrespectful to me. It's you being disrespectful and condescending to other people.
Yes.
I don't like people who are condescending.
Yes.
I don't like when people are unkind to people that they think are lower than them. For me, the way you treat people that you think you cannot get anything from tells me a lot about you.
Yes. Yes.
And so because of that, I feel like you're not a kind person. You're not a genuine person. I can't deal, because I will be scared of you. Do you get? So for me, those are the things that are red. There are certain things that people think are big deals.
Yeah.
That I'm like, I can't,
it's not for me.
See, for me, if you are willing to learn, you're willing to grow, you're willing to be accountable, you're willing to change, you have an openness to learning.
To learn,
You're open to have hard conversations.
Yes.
Like,
and accept even when you're also wrong as well. Accept.
To have a conversation. Yes. You have that maturity. I was telling my sister the other day, like, for my wedding, my closest friend didn't come for my wedding. And I was hurt. But she needed to be somewhere else at that time. Right? And I remember getting upset. I was so upset with her. Right? And it was like the hardest part of my relationship with her. She's someone that I've been friends with for like, almost 10 years, right? But she didn't come for my wedding, and I was upset because I felt, but if it were the other way around,
You
I
would
would
turn
miss
up.
your
Yes,
wedding
you're
for the
important.
world,
Yeah.
you know. But I felt like, will I ask this relationship? I'm just cut her off because she didn't come for my wedding. I look at her antecedents before now. What has been a pattern? She loves me, and I
Yeah.
know, and it just so happens that this just so happened.
Yeah.
Do I then cut off the
Yes,
relationship?
exactly. That's what I said. Just that
If I
one
look
time.
back at her, the time that I've been with her, there's so many times that she has showed up for me.
Yep.
So based on that, I cannot just end the relationship simply because of this one thing. This relationship means a lot to me. And so what did we do? We had the hard conversation. And I both were even crying in it, but now we're past that. And to be honest, for a lot of people, you see things like, oh, cut her. You block her. How dare she?
Because that was an important day.
Because
Yes.
that's an important day. Why won't she be there? Why won't she come and things like that? But it just so happened that at that time she couldn't.
Yeah.
Right? Do I now forget everything else that she has done prior to that time and then just cut her off just because? And now I'm just so glad because she's just one of the people that I just go to when life has just hit me.
Hard, yeah.
Even though now like she's still far away from me, but we still keep that relationship going because she's like one of the people that just keeps me grounded. Sometimes when my faith is down, she's the one that
I'm glad you have that. Yeah.
Do you get? So I feel like, the things that people think or take seriously, I feel like a lot of times we major on the minor things. We major on the minor things. The things that you should actually be looking at. You close your eyes.
Nice.
You have a friend that is so rude and so badly behaved and so disrespectful. But because you feel like this person suits your status, you keep them around. Right? And then you have someone that the person is not perfect, but this person genuinely loves you, respects you, cares about you. And because the person makes just one mistake, you cut off. You cut off. So I think that, in saying that, I think that it's also important for us to apply wisdom in our relationships with women. As we wrap up, Whitney, do you have any advice, thoughts, if you were going to speak to your younger self about building a healthy female friendships? What would you say? Look into the camera.
Geez, my younger self was worse than I am today. She was she was everybody. In fact, my younger self would bring a total stranger into her mother's house and say, come into my house. You're my friend. I will literally call you my friend right now. But in saying that, I feel like the first thing we need to start is forget about what the word is saying, but I feel like I would start with friends that are Christians, because that's one thing that unites me on the first meeting. If I'm able, if I'm able to go back in time, I will start looking at friends that were Christians. I'll look at for people that are just genuinely happy or wanting, whether it's you pass your exam today, in fact, they're celebrating and blowing balloons for you, those kind of people, because they're celebrating. It's not that, oh, you finally did it. Or that sort of, yes. I guess receive people that are rough. They say diamond when you've just, and it's still rough, because you don't even know that they're that tip on the iceberg that will just come and just make your life baby girl life, that kind of thing. You just don't know what people are coming in to offer. So don't be very quick to say, I prefer this kind of person, I like that kind of person. I like interact with people normal, and then in there you'll find the diamond within that person. I don't want a relationship where I'm walking on eggshells. This malice thing has to go out the window. If you are someone that doesn't know how to get into conflict, conversations or hard conversations, maybe don't do it when you are hurting.
maybe
Because
sometimes.
yes, let it. You can equally even tell your girlfriend, I'm very hurt right now and I don't feel like talking right now, and then pray that that person is mature enough to understand and step
receive
away
it.
from you, and
Yeah.
and then come back and say this is what you did. And if the other friend too now says that I truly hurt this person, please apologize and don't be saying I'm so sorry that you feel. It's not that she feel. You're sorry I hurt you in this way. Like, spell it out. We need to accept that people will come and go,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's
Totally.
nothing personal.
Yeah. I think. Yeah. Thanks,
So
Whitney.
that's my
I
little
think.
itty bitty.
Yeah. I think that's totally valid. To your last point about understanding that people come and go, understanding that every friendship has its
Yeah.
season, and sometimes a particular friendship runs its course.
Yes.
And you just allow it,
Yep.
to run its course. People come into your life for different reasons, and sometimes
Yes.
God brings people into your life for a particular season to strengthen you in a particular season.
Yep.
So some friends would stay with you through the course of your lifetime,
Yep.
and some
Will
at some
not.
point would
Yeah.
fall by the wayside.
Yeah.
Doesn't make them bad people. I also like what you said about understanding that you can have acquaintances, and I think if there's one thing that I always preach, know the labels that you give to different
Yeah.
people in your life, because it helps you to manage your expectations. Right, like even I think respect all people, be kind to all people.
Yep.
Not for anything else, just for the fact that they're human beings,
At
just like you.
100%. Yeah.
So be kind to people, treat them with respect, treat them with dignity, because they are deserving
Yeah.
of it. And so, but at the same time, understand that different people cannot be all things to you.
Yes.
All people cannot be all things
Yes.
to you. Some
Yes.
people, as Whitney said, are your work colleagues, and there is a context of that relationship.
Yep.
Some people are just acquaintances.
Yep.
There's a context for that. And some people are your besties.
Yes.
So you know how you manage these different people.
True.
You know the expectations that you have of these different people.
Yeah.
But again, I feel for me, it's open yourself up to friendship. Open yourself up to people. Let people come in and love you.
Yes.
If you're a firstborn child like me, I have to say it, because a lot of firstborn daughters are very closed off. They're just used to doing their own thing and just being by themselves. So I've been in your shoes. It's not cool. It's lonely. It's very lonely. So open yourself up and let people come in. Let people love you. You're also deserving of love.
Absolutely.
You're probably used to always giving and
Yes.
giving and giving. But, just let people come in, let people love you, give people grace. As Whitney said, give people grace.
As much as you can. As much as you can. You can tolerate, because it doesn't apply to everyone.
Yeah.
Another thing I was going to say is, for instance, in your relationship, please ask the question, ask the friend, how should I show up for you? Just always ask, because sometimes you think what you're doing, because you're doing all those nice things, that's how they
that's what
want
the
you to
person
show up.
wants.
No, like today, ask Loretta, how do you want me in this relationship to show up for you? Or what are those? And give me the expectations, and I'll tell you whether I'll meet them or not. And whether you're meeting them there or you've heard it, but you always just have it at the back of the mind, because that's you being very intentional right there by saying that it's not use me. It is that how can I be? What is it that you're lacking or you're wanting from me? Or just always ask, how can I show up for you today? It doesn't have to be when they're in pain. Or you just ask the question while you're checking in. Girl, how can I show up for you today? Or for instance, when last did you do your nails? Okay, let's go. You just, because some people are like, okay, let's go to a park. I just want someone to take me to a park. So just ask how you should show up. Because again, before you know it, complacency will get in there, and you're just very comfortable.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I think at the end of the day, bottom line is that you can't give what you don't have. And the quality of your friendships or quality of your female friendships is highly dependent on the quality of the individuals involved.
Yes.
So you have to also work on yourself, be observant, self-reflect. If you need to go for therapy, go for therapy. If
Yes.
you need to read books, read books.
Yeah.
Understand we've talked about how your upbringing also impacts how
Yeah.
you do friendships with people. It takes a lot of reflection an introspection to be able to even know that, your friend, the way your parents related with each other, related with their own friends, or even raised you to relate with friends impacts how you do friendships, in life. So be willing to do that inner work, because on this podcast, we're all about doing that inner work. You don't just show up and say, oh, this is how I am. Everybody take me how I am. No, you have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to be accountable and do the work that needs to be done so that you can also show up as a healthy version of yourself and also attract healthy people in your life. So go and learn conflict resolution.
I beg.
Go and learn emotional regulation. Go and learn emotional intelligence. But do the things that you need to do so that you can have a healthy village and you can also contribute as a healthy villager. But anyway, thank you guys so much. If you have listened to this to the very end, thank you. This was such a wholesome conversation.
Thank you, girl.
If you leave me and Whitney, we can
tomorrow.
Stay here tomorrow. We can stay. We go to Zamfara and come back.
Very true.
In this gist, we'll continue. We can continue.
So this is just maybe part 1.
I'll definitely bring Whitney back. It's always lovely chatting with you. Thank you so much, so much for taking the time.
No worries. Anytime.
Thank you so much. Anyway, guys, please make sure you leave a comment. Let me know if you're watching this on YouTube. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Tell us what you think about female friendships. Let's talk about your experiences and some of the things that you have learned around building healthy female friendships and female relationships. Okay, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like it if you're watching on YouTube, and please definitely share with all the girls in your life. And if you're a guy watching this, share with your wife, your girlfriend, your children, your niece,
everybody,
every woman that you know. Please do want to share it with them. I'll see you
in
next episode.
Bye.
Bye.